You'd be surprised how much food there is on the forest floor. Today, we're going to take a mini tour of the forest floor and see what wild edibles we can find down here. So let's go. I see down here by the water, these somewhat maple-shaped leaves are currants. These are great tasting berries. They don't have berries on them at the time. They do have some flowers right now, and those will be delicious berries soon. Now next to the stream side is where we find a lot of other great things, and here's one of my all-time favorites. It's Siberian miner's lettuce. It has these 5-petaled flowers atop and these heart-shaped leaves. All of the plant, including these leaves, are edible greens, and it makes a great addition to a salad. They're also sweeter rather than some of the bitter greens we've talked about, like dandelions and plantains. Scanning the forest floor, and we actually have something new here. We have a violet. Now this violet is yellow. The flowers can also be purple. And the flowers and leaves are edible on this, so you can just pluck those. I'm not going to today because I don't need it. But yeah, this is a great addition to a lot of dishes as well. It's just going to be a mildly floral flavor in the flower, and then of course a mild, delicate green to add as well. You can also find many different kind of ferns on the forest floor, and they serve as an edible food as well. In the springtime, before the fern leaf actually unfurls, it's wrapped up in a little coil called a fiddlehead. And the fiddleheads can then be plucked and fried or sauteed and eaten with a variety of different meals. I like them in tacos. And looking closely here on the forest floor, we can see another great find. A viney kind of plant with these leaves that grow across from each other. This is Yerba Buena, which means good plant in Spanish. The plant is usually around maybe a foot to 3 feet in size, and as you can see, it trails across the forest floor. And these leaves are edible. And while I forage greens, my companions chase squirrels. Did you see a squirrel? Yeah, they're up there in the trees. Good eye. Even the pines out here make edible food. We'll talk about that more when we talk about how to forage things like pine nuts and pine bark. Here's another great forest floor find. And this is huckleberry, and it's getting a little dapple of sunshine here. That might be helping out. I don't see the berries bloomed yet. I do see there's a berry starting right here, if you can see that guy. So almost time, and we'll have delicious huckleberries. So when you're foraging on the forest floor or anywhere, here's some good things to think about, especially if you're new to foraging. One is to be cautious and try things in small quantities, especially if the plant is new to you, just to be sure that you don't have a reaction to it. Mind any allergies to things like nuts or berries or anything like that that you think you might have. Also be kind to the plant. If you don't have to tear up the whole plant, if there's other plants around that you can forage a little from each, do so that there's more of the plant next season. And another thing you can do is to propagate the plants. Some wild plants that aren't invasive could use the help, and you can do things just as simple as spitting berry seeds so that more grow next season. Also, don't forget that when you're foraging out here in the forest, you might come across mosquitoes at certain times of the year. I get torn up. So mind the bugs, the mosquitoes, sometimes even black flies by certain water areas. Another thing is if you are foraging by water, you might want to bring yourself a filter. That gives you something to drink. And the forest is also a place that you can get turned around in. So if you go deep into the forest, just know where you're at. Bring some sort of reference that you can use to find your way out of the forest. Now also just some other mentionables that we didn't get to explore today. Other plants that you can find on the forest floor, especially by stream banks like this, include wild ginger. And yeah, just like it sounds, it can be a substitute for the type of ginger that you are used to buying at the store. You eat the roots, and it comes in a little green plant that grows close to the forest floor. So keep an eye out for that as well. And just a few more mentionables. When you're out of the deep, dark forest where I just was right now, in the drier parts of the forest, usually the disturbed areas like along roadsides and meadows, you can also find wild strawberries. I also talk about those here at Waggleby. Some other things you'll find in this type of area are dandelions. which serve as a great spinach type green, and plantains. Also roses. So there you have it. The forest floor is a surprising plethora of food. Today I'm coming to you from the Pacific Northwest, but a lot of these things or similar plants can be found on a forest floor near you. So have fun, check it out, and remember, practice caution when trying new foods. Only try a little bit at a time, and be cautious of your allergies, but otherwise, enjoy the forest. They do scoop out really easily, and again, then you can just eat them as is.